So yesterday I built a skill to scan stocks or crypto. And I wanted to make this video just to show you and show everybody how easy it is to make your own skills in Claude and the fact that it's actually worth building them because they're now becoming a standard that can be used in a lot of places. And even if you're just using Claude itself, you can actually use the skill right there in your Claude. All your skills will be saved in your Claude chat so that essentially you can just pull up these skills on the fly. One really great thing about skills is you will no longer have to type out big old prompts. You'll just have it saved in a skill nice and neatly in your Claude ready to go. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build your own skills easily. It doesn't take coding. It doesn't take a technical background of any sort. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll be able to build your own Claude skill.
The latent frontier.
So welcome to the Latent Frontier, everybody. I am Jess, your host here at the Frontier. And today we're going to build a Claude skill together. It's something anybody could do, like I mentioned. And in fact, you'll be able to build one really easily for something that'll be useful for you. For me, the other night I was thinking, you know what? I'm tired of typing out this prompt all the time when I want to scan a particular stock for an investment and so on. Um, so why don't I just build a skill so that every time I'm doing this, I just click a button basically or type one word, essentially maybe two or three words, and it automatically scans the ticker. For example, it could be Google, it could be it could be Amazon, and it'll just automatically perform an in-depth technical scan of that stock for me. So I went ahead and did it, and I figured this is a great video for me to make just to give some value to my viewers because everyone could use this and everyone can do this. So let's go ahead and hop right in. What I'm going to show you first is in Claude, right? So they make it extremely easy for you to do. And before I show you kind of what I ended up building yesterday, I'm going to show you how you can start it off yourself. And I'm also going to talk a little bit first about what is a skill, right? Um, an easy way to think of it is a skill is basically a workflow or a process. And it's a level above a prompt because a prompt is kind of wrapped up inside a skill, but a skill could do a lot more. First of all, a skill can execute code. So that's great. It can do some code work. A skill also can have guardrails built in. You could have it do scoring and a rubric. It's consistent because every time you use it, it's going to adhere to the same skill and the same features that you built into that skill. And the other really cool thing about a skill is you can share it with people. You could send it to a coworker, you could send it to a friend, and so on. And on top of that, another beautiful thing about skills is they live right here in your Claude. See this? You just click on the plus icon, you go up here to skills, and you can already see where it says skill creator. That's one way you could build your skill. All you have to do is go in here, click skill creator, and now you tell it what type of skill you want to build, right? Another way you can do this is you can just talk to Claude and tell it to build the skill for you. Same thing, you could do it either way. So the question here is, what skill do we want to build? Let's do, and I'm not going to go through the whole, well, we'll see because sometimes it takes a little time during the process when it's building it out. I already built one out that I want to show you later, but I'm going to show you some parts of the process just so you see how easy it is and you can dive in and do it yourself. Let's say skill creator, send me a motivational quote and include, I don't know, a passage from a Stoic philosopher that you think applies to me. How about this? We'll have it send us a motivational quote. No, actually, we're going to have it ask me how I'm doing and how I feel about today. And then, based on my response, send me a motivational quote and include a passage from any philosopher, Stoic or otherwise, that you think applies to me today based on my response. Okay, this is kind of a weird skill, to be honest. I'll show you some more useful skills in a moment, but hey, maybe this is useful to someone. And it just to show you, you can be creative with this. You can have it do just about anything you want, to an extent. So here we go. It's going to go ahead and start the process. And what I think it's probably going to do is it's going to ask us some questions that we answer so that basically it knows how to better create this skill for us. Um, okay, let's see. It says, "Hey Jay, happy to do this. Let's start there for real, not as a formality. How are you doing today?" Maybe the deeper version of that question, how are you feeling about today? Um, Etc., etc. Tell me whatever is true. I feel inspired. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's just see what it's doing, because it's supposed to ask us usually questions to build the skill. Um, I think it may have gotten confused, so I'm going to follow up with it again and say skill creator. I'm going to try it again. It may have been my error. We're going to do it like this. Build a skill that asks me how I'm doing, and then based on my response, sends me a motivational quote and includes a philosophical passage. Okay, let's see if it got it this time. Yeah, now it got it. So when you do it, just make sure you tell it. Don't confuse it like I did. I think it thought that I wanted it to just have a little conversation with me there. But essentially, you just tell it, build me this skill that does so and so. So, whatever you want to do, you tell it, build me a skill that does this. And you'll see this with these little scrolls. That's the skill symbol in Claude. So, we know it's now reading the skill creator, it's reading the other sections about writing a skill, and it's going to go ahead and start building our skill. Most likely, it's going to ask us some questions about the skill so that it can better create it for us. So let's see if it indeed does do that. It does sometimes take a moment, but it's very worth it, because this is a skill. If it's useful to you, you're going to be able to reuse this skill over and over for months, a year, who knows how long, right? Because skills are now a standard within Claude. They're not just going to remove skills. The other interesting thing about skills is you can use these skill processes um, to create apps, to create workflows in Claude Code or other API systems, and then eventually to create your own application. So you could then later build on and stack these skills and turn them into a larger application. Now it's going to question us so that it could build the skill for us. How much do you want back each time? A quick hit, a quote, a passage tight, fuller, add a few lines connecting it to my day, read the room, match the day. Yeah, we'll do read the room, match the day. Which way should the philosophy lean? We're going to stick with mostly stoic. When the day's rough, what tone do you want? Let's see, gentle and uplifting. There we go. Now it's going to go ahead and start building the skill for us, and that's basically it. Now we just have to wait for it to build the skill, and it's going to think through it. It's going to start creating the document. I'm going to show you what that looks like when it finishes, and we'll come back to the screen in a little bit. But essentially, I don't want to just sit here and wait for it because it could take a couple minutes. So yesterday, like I said, I built my own skill. And this morning I built yet another one. So I'm building all sorts of skills. But here is the result in the markdown file. For I actually built the skill, like I told you guys, that is to analyze different stocks uh, and the technicals for stocks. For example, if we want to invest in a certain ticker, it'll take a look at all the technicals. And this is the markdown and the nitty gritty behind the skill, right? And it has a whole process it builds out, how the subscores are built. So this has actually, the one I built out has a rubric for scoring stocks. And if you guys want this skill, just type skill into the chat, into the comments, and I'll go ahead and send you a link to download this stock technical analysis skill. So you could use it yourself, or you could just build one of your own as well if you would prefer. So this also studies the trend indicators like the 50-day, the 200-day momentum indicators. It scores based on all these different features, the MACD, volume on the stock, on balance volume, different things for volatility, support and resistance. Um, but the other cool thing about skills is you can have guardrails built in so that these are sort of, you could think of them as checks and balances. For example, um, how do technical signals commonly lie? So it starts to think through these things so that it's not giving you a black and white answer. It's kind of going a little bit deeper into some of the nuance about technical analysis, because if you know an analyst, you know they're not going to tell you it's always black and white. There's a lot of nuance to these things. And the other interesting thing is I told it, make this skill so that essentially I could use this not only on stock tickers, but on crypto tickers, for example. So it built that right in for me rather easily. And that is the MD file, which just shows you kind of the skill and its skeleton. And now it's still working on our new motivational skill here. I'm going to go ahead and show you that skill in action. Okay, so let's actually start a brand new chat. And this is how you use the skill, right? You just go to the plus sign, you go to skills, and you're going to see right here, my skill is right there, technical scan. Okay, I built another one this morning called news scan, but let's go to the technical scan. Okay, and then you just want to show it the ticker. So we'll just enter the ticker, which is, which one do we want to go? I think there was one called Eaton. Let's see if I got the ticker right. I may have put the ticker in incorrectly. Okay, I think it's working. Okay, you just have to put the ticker in. You don't want to put the full stock name in. So for like Google, I think it's GOOG. I forget the exact ticker, but now it's, yeah, Eaton Corporation, ETN. It's going to go ahead and start the technical scan now, which takes a second, but then it will go ahead and that's it. That's how you execute it. Once again, to use your skill that you built, you hit the plus sign, you go to skills, you go to technical scan or whatever you named your skill, and you click it, and that's it. You can also type slash technical scan and then write the ticker. You could do that as well, but if it's easier, just click the plus symbol and you're going to be able to go in here and find your skill, and you just click on it, and it sure beats typing out a prompt. But like I said, it's even better than a prompt for various reasons that I mentioned earlier in the video, including you can share skills, you can download the skills, you can have skills that code, skills that have more in-depth processes, guardrails, rubrics. You can have the skill score things, lots of things. And there's a good consistency in the skills because you can continually use it, and it keeps the same framework for you. Now it's going ahead, it's still analyzing here. It looks like in our other chat, it finished our daily motivation skill. So it says, I built it, done. Here's your daily check-in skill packaged and ready to install. Here's one thing I want to point out to you guys. You have to click Save Skill. Once you've built it, click Save Skill, and that's how it's going to be saved inside your Claude chat. You can also use these in Claude Code. I'm not going to go into that in this video because I just want to get you oriented with how to build your own skill very easily. And once again, if you want this financial analysis skill so you can scan different stocks and crypto, just leave me a comment that says skill and I'll send you that over. Here's the technical scan of Eaton Corporation as of June 27th, that is today. It's giving us a technical score of 63, constructive, leaning positive, confidence is me. So this is like the report. They had a 4% drop on heavy volume, probably around the whole AI scare on Friday. Let's see, the big picture uptrend is genuinely strong, but the stock just took a hard 4% hit on roughly double its normal volume. So the long-term structure is intact, while the short-term momentum has clearly cooled. Snapshot shows you the picture of the price for the day, the range for the day, 52-week range, support, resistance, the trend, right? It's going to rate the trend as well. So above here, it rated the technical score 63 out of 100, which is a little concerning, basically a D, but the trend is looking decent at a B minus. This is the strong part. The price sits comfortably above its 50-day average, and I'm not going to bore you with all these technicals. I'll just show you the categories. It shows you the momentum. This includes RSI, MACD, etc., the participation and volume, volatility and risk context. What would change the read, right? So it tells you kind of like some conditions, what would make it more constructive or more negative of a stock pick, flags and caveats, conflicting signals, fundamental backdrop. Um, of course, this is not going to be full on investment advice um, when you're using a skill like this. So keep that in mind. This is going to be just for educational purposes. But you can get a lot of useful information out of a skill like this. And just to show you that it also does crypto, we can do quickly technical scan, and we'll put in BTC for a crypto ticker. At the same time, let's see if we can go over here and let's use our new skill. Hopefully it's in here now, daily check-in, so you could see how this one worked too. Daily check-in. Let's see how this one works because it's supposed to question me about how my day is going. So I want to make sure this one worked out properly. Let's give it a shot. Hopefully it doesn't expect me to tell it how my day went right when I do the skill activation. So now you can see how easy it is. We did build together this daily motivation skill. I showed you the results of my technical scan skill, and it's working. It actually asked me the question, how are you doing today, Jay? And how are you feeling about today specifically? The work ahead, or whatever's on your plate, or whatever's actually sitting with you right now. Take it wherever it wants to go. I'm listening. So it's almost like your own little personal counselor. This shows you how that it is working. Unfortunately, we reached our session limit. Damn it, Claude. Do I need to upgrade already? Probably I do need to upgrade. Claude runs out of usage faster than anything. My other subscriptions, they don't run out of usage. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude is always running out, and this is not even Fable 5, so that kind of concerns me. But the beautiful thing is, you have these features in Claude like skills, where you can basically now integrate these little workflows or processes that you could pull up at any time, guys, by clicking the plus, going to skills, and pulling up a skill which you can now easily build on your own. I hope you learned how to do it. If not, I recommend going back and rewatching the video and just seeing the steps. I'm confident you could do it. Anyone could do it. Um, until next time, guys, this has been The Latent Frontier. Have a great day.